The next speaker I'm going to introduce is Dr. Sheng HOU. Hello, Dr. HOU. Dr. HOU is an emergency physician, and he is the medical director of the EMS Center of Sheng HOU Memorial Hospital in Taiwan. He is very knowledgeable of EM training, and he will talk about the situation of Taiwan. Dr. HOU, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zhang. And in next 20 minutes, I will give you 6 cases. Six emergency departments are famous for their EM training, even before the COVID-19. And let's show you how they respond to this pandemic in last year. So I declare no conflict of interest. So the first hospital, first ED is my shop, the Sheng Hospital, and all those photos were shot between last March to May, which is the most intense situation last year. However, compared to other countries, you may see that we are kind of a little bit too relaxed. Not everyone wearing a mask and not everyone keeping social distance. And in Xinguang, we discontinued the hospital-wide meeting, but every department still kept their regular meeting in the morning, and we have the physical one. And so we also had a sedation workshop, which invites several other emergency departments residents to come by and to learn this, to have this workshop. And for this, that regulations are a little bit strict. Everyone have to wear masks and a little bit social distance, but we'll still do that in the physical ways. So other photos, this is during the divided course that in this workshop, and we are demonstrate how to evaluate a patient and provide good sedation. So they are all residents coming from different ED to our hospitals doing. So as you can see that we are not affected by the pandemic as so much as other countries. We still keep most of our doings regularly. Okay, this is Dr. Lin, famous airway guru, and he's teaching using the VL, the video laryngoscope, and with the HEPA filter to help other emergency department doctors, residents, and our own to do the intubations during the COVID situation. We are not the fan of using the hood. We by the way, we are focusing on the good PPE and the good neuromuscular blockade and using the proper equipment to do the intubation. So this is Sheng Hospital. And let me introduce another hospital in Taipei, is Magai, and they are very unique. Now, during the morning meeting, the attending and the resident who is responsible for that meeting, they kept together in that 1 hour in the media room, and they record the whole lecture in that hour, and they put online for the synchronized the viewing. And so any others, they can review the lectures later and post the question to the online forum. So as to my knowledge, they are the only one doing this to record every morning meeting content online. And there's no one to have the real-time interactions with them. And later, so this is the situation they are recording. So they have used their app, their mobile phone or their iPad to go online and to review all those morning meeting materials. And they can also post some questions and have a discussion there. But they may be the only one who doing this kind of stuff. The good thing is that they will have a bunch of the precious teaching material on hand. And a little bit drawback is probably they do not have the real-time interaction. Okay, the National Taiwan University, which provided by Dr. Liu, they are using the WebEx, not the Zoom, for the morning meeting. And those who still willing to go to the physical one are welcome, but usually there are only maybe 2 or 3 residents come by. and the one who responsible for the meeting is sitting on the front. And so they are using the WebEx. They purchased two monitor systems, one for the slide, one for the hosting the WebEx systems. But to our surprise, that the residents really appreciate this kind of online meeting, the synchronized online meeting, because that many residents who may not speak freely during the physical ones, they are willing to have a discussion behind the camera. So they would regard that as a huge success when they shift from the physical one to the online. Kaohsiung Chang'eng Hospital is at the southern part of Taiwan, and these photos are provided by Dr. Wang Huiting. This is before the COVID pandemic, that everyone have their gathered to the classroom together, in the morning. And when the last year they are choosing to replace this kind of morning meeting by small group workshop, and of course wearing masks. And because the ED dropped significantly, especially the pediatric EM, so they developed the simulation cases with their pediatric department attendings and residents. They have a joint simulation training using their relative free time to this kind of training. And they also have the residents get together at a regular time every Wednesday night. They were sharing their Tintinelli studying group, and they would review the Tintinelli chapter, and also someone will post MCQ questions and for the stimulation and for the review and for the discussion. And this is also very welcome by the residents. Qimei is at the Tainan of the Taiwan, and is also famous for its educational efforts. And the problem by the Chief Wang he described is that they put a very strict infection control from the clinical area to the meeting room, to the educational area. So if you want to go across the border, you have to do all those remove the PPE, wash your hands, and lots of regulations. So this will discourage the residents to join the meeting. That's the problem they noticed last year. But fortunately, they still have a bunch of residents still willing to go to the morning meeting. And they are a very big, huge emergency department. So still they have a lot of staff going to this meeting. They are wearing masks, and they use the plastic translucent board on the table to do the physical barrier. Okay, this is showing what they are doing in their morning meeting. And these are airway training, and they are using the hood and with the ventilation to remove the air out of the hood. Dalin Ciji is at the Jiayi, and those photos are provided by Dr. Li Zhengwei. They in their experience, the core lecture were affected most. So they are putting their ED morning meeting to the synchronized online video conference by using Zoom. And they cancel their weekly hospital-wide conference. So this is very like the Sheng Hospital. And they videotape some of the teaching to put it on the web. So you can actually take a photo of the QR code on the right-hand side and to enjoy their show of their teaching material about how to do the CPR if during that kind of period. So the whole on the right-hand side in April, the hospital-wide meeting is canceled. In the May, it's also canceled, and after June, is all come back. So they find some similar situations that are shared by other emergency department, because that mental participation to the video conference is quite cannot be guaranteed. And the heat of the debate or discussion is also very difficult to find online. So that's their experience. So they are not really appreciate the online video conference. Whereas the TAIDA, the NTU, National Taiwan University, they enjoy the online style. And they still hold the online workshop, but without a really hands-on experience that the students does not really fond of it. They record their clinical bedside teaching on their mobile phone, so that almost the clinical bedside teaching was not affected. They still doing their daily supervision, clinical serving, and also case-based discussion. They are doing their EPA. They are still evaluating their milestones. So almost the same as usual. So for the clinical side is less affected. So in conclusion, that the different emergency departments respond to the pandemic differently. For example, the Xinguang is keep the physical ones, and some national Taiwan universities and Dalian, they are using the Zoom or WebEx with variable success. Only Magai, they are using the video cast style. They record everything online and to have a discussion later. This is the only department doing that kind of stuff. That okay. So in my point of view, that Taiwan was not really affected by the COVID-19, so that most of the doctors, the attendings, and the residents, they are not relatively or not familiar with all these tools, the Zoom or WebEx. Yes, we may try to use it, but trying to host a good one, especially an interactive one, is quite difficult to us. So if Taiwan will hit by another pandemic in the next decades, yeah, I think we are still behind the other countries for this kind of online skill. So my point of view is that this may be a required digital skill for the future medical professionals. Okay, thank you. This is my email for if you have any questions.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. HOU, for letting us know different parts of hospital in Taiwan, what they are doing. Talk about at least 6 different hospitals. Very informative.